And let's begin. Nice to see you all, and your kittens and cats and puppies and dogs too. So you can rest your hands in your lap, please. Let your eyes close. I was commenting before we begin formally, I was commenting about keeping the lights down low in the winter solstice season, not to turn on the lights when not necessary, so you can actually sense the season that we're in is the longer nights and the shorter days. More percentage of the darkness than the light. So it's a very important time of year. And respecting all of nature's cycles by letting ourselves feel the cycles. This morning we can feel we're in this part of the year, and darkness is an invitation to reflect inwardly, to take refuge, not from the fray of daily life, but to take refuge even from our own minds. And then also to reflect inwardly on what we may have to repair, like what is in our own shadow, what's asking for our attention, to bring it into the light or to bring some repair into a relationship we have with ourselves or with life or with somebody else. So it's kind of a time of, we could say, taking inventory, as they say in the 12-step community. You might ask, where have you kept something in your own shadow, or if you've caused darkness to somebody else or to yourself? And by darkness, we could mean if you've caused, even inadvertently, you've caused some hurt or some misunderstanding or some strife. So these reflections are our responsibility as yogis. And our yoga practice helps us to look inwardly and honestly. With a sense of the courage it requires to have reflection, and that you've shown up for class and for practice this morning, please join your hands to your heart, lengthen your spine, and let your breath be deeper for a few breath cycles. May our practice, for each of us, may it reveal to us that which is our work to do, not somebody else's work to do, but our own. May we have the time for this reflection so that what we then bring into the light of relationship or communication, we have done so with integrity and Ahimsa and Satya and Asteya. So non-harming, honesty, and non-stealing, not taking from someone else, but also understanding that their journey is their own and we have a contribution that we can make. Likewise, our journey is ours and other people have contributions that they can make to us. So we'll chant Sahana Bhavatu this morning. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunakto Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavahi. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu punakto savidyang karavavai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidveshavai. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidveshavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and release your hands. And we're going to practice a little pranayama. I was doing a sort of warming up process for others yesterday, and I want to get this portion of the chest. Some of you have said that for you to get the inhale suspension comfortably, you feel like you're pushing against something in the internal structure, like some resistance in here underneath the rib cage. So let's work on that a little bit right now. Interlace your fingers, please. Push the hands forward. Let's raise the arms up and then bring your left elbow down, right elbow up. So you're going to have your head at the back. You're touching your forearm and then go up. So these are going to be the moves. Go down to the other side. So your head is actually pressing back against your arm. And then go up. And then out to the side. Okay, good. So let's do that with the breath now. Let me just get my hair off my face. I know some of you have your own hair quandaries. It's COVID-19. Okay, take the arms up with your inhale, please. And then exhale, pull down and aim your right elbow up. Stay here for the inhalation. Lift your sternum up, press your head back. And then exhale, push up through the heels of your hands, bring your chin down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bring the arms down, right elbow down, left elbow up. Press your head back, lift your heart. Okay, exhale, raise both arms, gaze down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, left elbow down, right elbow up. Okay, inhale, press your head back, lift your heart. And then exhale, press both arms up, look down. Inhale to gaze up. And exhale, left elbow up, right elbow down. Put the hand and the head together. And then press your head back as you inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, raise your arms up, look down. Last one now, inhale to look up, stretch the throat. And exhale, press out. Now rest your hands in your lap and let's see if having this more clear, does the flutter of the belly come more easily and is inhale suspension more sustainable? Okay, so Bhastrika first. Okay, inhale through both nostrils and bring the breath slowly inward, upward, and try to lift the canopy of the heart for your inhale suspension. During suspension, lift the base of your skull and pull up there to help this muscle along the side of the neck lift your collarbones. Also lift the sternum from the inside. And then release that hold as you exhale, keep your heart lifted. And deeply relax the belly and pause for a moment. Now the second round, we'll keep the heart lifted so there's not a sense of burdening the diaphragm. Here we go. Inhale through the nose. Close the right nostril, exhale left side. Inhale left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close the right, exhale left. Release your right hand. Relax the breath and the inner body. The outer body can drape over the inner body. Keep only a sense of the central channel elongated. And now Kapalabhati, which is done through the nose. Same flutter in the abdomen. Let's begin. Exhale. Now as you inhale, lower belly, mid belly, upper belly. And when you're coming up, remind yourself to lift the base of the skull as a part of the inhale suspension. Exhale through both nostrils. The exhale long and smooth, the base of the skull staying lifted. Inhale both nostrils. Suspend. Exhale both nostrils. Maintain the lift at the base of the skull. Even though you have essentially released the bandhas for the exhale, keep a tiny lift at the base of the skull. At the end of the exhale, then relax your head into a more reflective position. Now we will do it using the Nadi Shodhana technique. So it's going to be left, right, left, right, left, right. Remind yourself that you can do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then go 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, and at the end we will use Nadi Shodhana for the suspensions. Okay, so let's begin. Exhale. Okay, inhale both nostrils. Suspend. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Suspend. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Release your right hand to your lap. Relax the outer body, even the inner body. Keep only the central channel alert, present. And bringing this, hopefully you have a sense of inner quiet, bringing this inner quiet with you. Please rise up to standing. I'm going to switch my camera, so let me get that. Okay, when you come up to stand, put your chair kind of within reach so you have it nearby. Let me get this settled here. Okay. You also will want 2 yoga blocks. Let me check that. Step to the front of your mat, please, for Surya Namaskar. I need to change the angle of the camera, otherwise I won't have a head. Okay, join your palms together. So we're going to do this sun salutation, stepping from chair pose backwards to some of the poses. So it'll be a little bit different. I want to work on the strength and stamina of the pelvis and your legs, since we need that this time of year. Join your hands together. Now using the Ujjayi breath, please. Inhale down, wide up. Exhale, chair pose. So sit the hips back, and we're going to stay in chair pose for a few breath cycles. And I'm going to ask you to focus really on how you exhale, and you are squeezing the low belly to the end of an exhale. Notice the very beginning of your inhalation. Now there's something that does happen at the beginning of that inhale, and you can look for it. I'll describe it, and you can look for it in your own experience. You've exhaled completely, and there is this muscular drawing in of the low abdomen. When the first part of the inhale begins, there is a kind of whisking backwards of the inner belly before the abdomen expands on the inhalation. Try that once more. Exhale completely. And then begin the inhale. This time exhale, push down to rise up. And inhale to open your chest and your heart like a flower blooming at the top of the spine. And exhale, hands to the heart. So just keep looking for that possibility. We'll see if you can find it. Don't try to make it happen. Look for it happening. Inhale again, Urdhva Hastasana. Bend your knees, chair pose. Put your weight into your right leg. Inhale, step your left toes back. And then exhale, raise your torso into your crescent lunge. Beautiful, yeah, okay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to open, lift your collarbones from the inside. Inhale to go up. And then exhale, step forward to mountain pose. Put your weight into your right leg and step into mountain pose. And then continuing, inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, chair pose. Put your weight into your left leg. Inhale, your right toes back. And then exhale, bring your torso upright. Good. Inhale to go up. Exhale, reach outwards. Lift the collarbones and the very top of your sternum. Inhale, raise your arms. And then exhale and step forward to mountain pose. Join your palms together. Okay, let's repeat that. Inhale, we're going to add to the sequence. So when you go up now, exhale, sit down for several breath cycles in chair pose. And just see if you can sense what is happening in the torso, pose to pose, with the elasticity of the space you have for inhalation. When you're exhaling, tone the low belly so you can sense the musculoskeletal contraction of the abdominal region, and even the upper chest contributes. But then observe what happens with the first part of your inhale. Just stay curious about what happens at the spot just above the pubic bone during the first part of your inhale. And then exhale, push up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, open to a little standing back bend. And exhale your hands to your heart. Now we continue. Inhale, upward hands. Exhale, chair. Put your weight into your right heel. Inhale, left toes back. This is for the crescent lunge. So keep the torso forward at first. And then exhale, roll up. Now inhale, open, warrior two. And stay here for several breath cycles. I want you to watch again what happens in the interior for you, your own inner belly. You won't see it on me. But when you're exhaling, also try lengthening your right inner thigh really specifically. So your pelvis is more level left to right. The pelvic floor, if it were a mirror, is shining straight down on the floor. It's not crooked to the right towards your right knee. It's not crooked to the left towards your left inner heel, but is more neutral than that. And then bring your right forearm down to your right thigh. Sweep your left arm overhead. And now imagine if the pelvic floor were a mirror, what it's shining towards is your left heel. During the exhale, press into your right forearm to help you tone the inner belly. And notice what happens with the very beginning of your inhale. And then exhale, raise yourself back up to warrior two. Sweep your left arm down, reach forward, and step forward to mountain pose. Take a couple small steps if you need to. Mountain pose. And then inhale, rising up. Exhale, chair pose. Put your weight into your left heel. Take the right toes back. Exhale up to your crescent lunge. Inhale, open, warrior two. Good, and then noticing again what happens for you, especially across the front of the low abdomen. And if the pelvic floor were a mirror, it's reflecting the floor directly beneath you. Lengthen the left inner thigh. Yeah, good. Okay, with an inhale, prepare. And then exhale, bring your left forearm down and take your right arm overhead. Yep. And focus on what happens inside the breath again. If your pelvic floor were a mirror, now it's shining at the right heel. Do not rush the practice nor your mind. So then you can see that subtle interchange between the ending of the exhale, the brief exhale pause, the beginning of the inhale. There's actually a little hollowing that can happen in the lower abdomen. Now with an exhale, press into your left heel. Bring yourself up to warrior two. Inhale your right arm forward. And then step forward, mountain pose. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And just noticing, what is the echo for your mind and your body? Now you can reach for your chair and place it to the right side of your mat. So where you're going to place it, you're going to be stepping on the chair. So I'm going to ask you to put the chair little bit on a diagonal. I'm watching out for the microphone cable. Okay, so you're going to be placing your right foot up on the chair like this. Yeah, so the first thing is going to be a little bit like doing warrior two. So this region right in through here. And then we're going to be coming towards the chair. We'll back up a little bit. We'll rotate. It's going to be like warrior one. We'll come towards the chair. You'll be tippy-toeing, going back down, and then settling back to where we began. So let's put the left foot kind of straight ahead and the right foot out to the side here. Maybe 45 degrees is a good way to think of it. Level your hips and lengthen your right inner thigh. Let's take the right arm and press against the right knee. Rotate your torso and your heart to your left. Almost like you're doing warrior two, side angle combined. It doesn't need to have a name. Gaze over your left shoulder, reach into your left thumb. Without having to look to your right, glide into your right hip and right heel. Keep the left leg steady. And press back to where you started. So this is going to be a glide several times. Exhale, glide to your right. Keep gazing to your left. And one more time, glide into your right hip, your right heel. Keep the right knee shining in the same direction as your toes. And inhale, come back to where you started. Lower your left arm down. Turn your hips to face towards your right knee and pivot your left heel to be the same. So now you're going to feel when we come forward, I hope you'll feel your left hip flexors and your calf muscles. If you're a runner and this is one of your stretches you do before running, you'll recognize it from there. So I'm going to ask you again to put some attention at the low belly. So let's come forward with the exhale smoothly. Good. Okay, and then inhale, glide back, put your weight into your left heel. And exhale, glide forward slowly. Now this time inhale, tippy toe with the left heel. And then exhale, root from your left hip into your left heel. Glide back to your starting position. And then one more time, we're going to add a back bend this time. So glide forward, tippy toe. Now you can root slowly, take the heel down. Put your hands on the back of your pelvis, fingers pointing up the way we've been doing. And as you press down against the back of the pelvis, raise your chest and your heart up, roll the shoulders back, and come into a little standing back bend. And then bring your gaze forward and glide your hips back to your starting position. And let's step the right foot down. So you're going to be in mountain pose, kind of facing towards your chair. So that was like a standing version of camel pose for the upper body, but on one leg. Again, it doesn't need to have a name. Notice what's happening down your left leg and in your right hip. Now the other side, please. So let's put the chair over to the left side of your mat. You did a nice job with that. Thank you for concentrating. Watching out for objects. Okay. So then place your right foot straight ahead and the left foot maybe 45 degrees, kind of like a sundial. This is the angle. This has to be stable. Okay. And then lengthen your left inner thigh and see what your glide feels like. Okay, good. So let's take the left hand to the inside of your left knee, please. And then gliding. And returning. Okay, good. Open your right arm and gaze to your right. Your body may be navigating different things side to side. Like here, it might be your right leg is really the primary captivating thing. Maybe the left inner thigh for some, or the left outer hip. Could be the left ankle. One more time, glide to your left. Return to stand where you started. Release your right arm down, rotate to face towards your left leg. So you're gonna have like a runner's stretch here, and just check you've got your glide. The distance that you're gonna be using can work for you. Okay, good. And then facing towards your left leg, let's exhale, glide in. Keep your right heel grounded for now. Inhale, glide back. Exhale, glide in. Tone your right butt root into your right heel. And now we'll inhale to go up. And exhale to root down. Inhale, glide back. Exhale, glide forward. Inhale, tippy toe. Exhale to root. Inhale, glide back. We're going to do it one more time, and this time we'll go to the standing back bend. So as you exhale, glide forward. Yep, good. Then inhale, tippy toe. Exhale to root. And now you're going to be, once you get your heel grounded, place your fingers so they point up and the heels of the hands go down. Pull down on the back of your pelvis to go up with your heart. Set your shoulders back. And you can gaze up so long as your neck is okay with it. And then you're going to level your head and glide your hips back into the plumb line where you started. Sense yourself to be standing over your left hip joint, and then place your right foot down, or vice versa, left foot down, and come to mountain pose. Notice what's happening and ask yourself, okay, in this, as you're reconciling stress or tension in the body, as you're resolving the debris that you carry, what is your duty to that inner reflection that might show you where you've had some Ahimsa, some harm, or some Satya, maybe a little bit of untruthfulness in your life, where there's a relationship or an action that might need your attention or your repair. And then turn to face forward and take a wide stance, like the jazz dance warm-up pose. Come on down. Okay, stretch out from the inner thighs out to your knees. So I am focusing on the pelvis, and we are going to do some of the suspensions here shortly. Like last week in our practice, we had a longer pranayama time. So let's see how you can glide now side to side here. Is it comfortable to go right and left? You will be shifting how much body weight is in one arm or the other. So when you glide to your right, you do have more weight in the right arm. And some of you will be able to straighten the left leg. Some of you will not be able to. And then you switch your body weight. See if you can start observing what happens at the pelvic floor with this glide. Do your best to keep the inner thigh long, and whichever leg is going towards straight, make it strong. So this is, go a little bit slower so you can sense the transition. Yeah, according to the pelvic floor, like half hemispheres of the pelvic floor, the responsibilities are changing as you go to the other side. There you go. One more time in each direction, please. You might be realizing that you're not a symmetrical person. You maybe knew that already. Come back to center. Press out with the knees, lengthen the sides of your waist, allow the shoulders to shrug up towards your ears. And then root down into your heels, and please rise up to standing. We'll go heel toe to center. Come into mountain pose, please. Okay, so to give the upper back now a chance to also be present for this pranayama, let's take the chair. Pardon me, mine is noisy. And we're gonna do it sideways. This is where you're gonna want a couple of yoga blocks. And I will recommend that you pad the chair, but don't make the padding slippery. I don't want you to slinky off the chair or to be sliding inadvertently. So you can pad it. And then when you have your blocks, one is gonna be for your head, one is gonna be for your hips. So I'll show you as a profile and just the basic preparation right there. This is from last week's class. For me, it's a good preparation into the bandhas because of what it does now for the upper part of the torso. What we just did there in that sequence was more for the lower hemisphere of the torso. So take a seat on your block, and depending on the height of your chair, your personal height, the length of your spine, where you're sitting means that you've got the base of the shoulder blades. I want those to be at the seat of the chair. Right? So your shoulder blades will be on the chair, not on the front edge of the chair, because the shoulder blade is a bone that won't bend. There you go. And let's put the block to start so it has your head slightly up. And take your arms overhead. Maybe your chair is such that you can hold the top of the chair like I'm doing with your thumbs pointing out. It's possible that your chair, the back of the chair is too tall for you. If it's a short upper back on the chair, bend your elbows and squeeze them in towards the center line. And then let the breath come down into the low belly, but also bring the inhale to the mid-torso and up into your heart. And then take the block, if your upper back is okay with it and your neck and head are good for it, place the block down one setting, so now it's on the flat setting. And then if your upper back and your neck are okay with it, you can put the block down. And you're going to lean back over the chair. You want to reach, so if you pick up the hips to reach for the seat of the chair, then you're going to glide the hips back down towards the block. It is okay if your hips don't make it back to the block, but I do want you to keep your shoulder blades and your head and your hands and elbows now stable. Picture inside, like underneath the rib cage in the inner part, like inside the diaphragm, a release that can happen there. And it's important to keep your shoulder blades, your arms, your head stable. So you're not stealing, we say Asteya, you're not stealing the opportunity from the inner belly of the diaphragm by having the upper torso compromise. You're also able to be more honest, the word is Satya, more honest with yourself about your shoulders, your thoracic spine, your throat, your neck, your heart. And then you're going to hold the back of your head, please, and start rolling up to sitting. And when you come up to sitting, if you've got a little funny spot on your block there, adjust so you can rise up to sit. And then take your left leg straight out. The right knee can stay bent in for Marichyasana. And I know that sitting on a block is maybe not your favorite way to do it, but let's see how this feels as a variation. Raise the right arm up. And then exhale and twist to your right. Reach your right hand across to the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, whatever is helpful to you there. And then bring that around to center, and we'll go the other way. So left knee in, right leg out. Raise your right arm up to cross it over your left knee. Then left arm up, lengthen the side of your waist, twist to your left. And then rotate around to face forward. Okay, and let's do, now this is something that I've done a lot in my teacher training program. We're gonna do a brief Shavasana. It's something you'll think, oh my God, I'm getting so gypped. We're gonna have Pranayama. So I want you to have a short Shavasana now, and then we'll sit back up for Pranayama. So taking whatever Shavasana is your preference, it'll be only 6 minutes of Shavasana to reset. And then we'll have a longer time for Pranayama, about 20 minutes for Pranayama and meditation. One thing you might consider is just doing the most basic Shavasana to feel like our ancestor yogis. They didn't have all these accoutrements. They just laid still. After working with the interior of the body and the musculoskeletal work, they just laid very still on the flat ground. You're welcome to try that as an option. When we come to the pranayama and meditation, you'll just need whatever you sit on for meditation. So you won't need your blocks at that time unless you use them for meditation. You can please lie down and really let yourself rest. So this is not a time for thinking nor for planning. Let the whole body become really still. As you lie still, you can also open yourself to whatever revelations are meant to be yours from your practice this morning. You may not realize there's a reflection or a spot of darkness that's asking for you to get to know it. You may also find that in lying still, you recognize there's an indwelling light or love or stillness. So invite your body and your thinking mind to both be very still. Reflection and revelation don't come from the habit mind or the thinking mind. So allow for a slightly deeper breath. And without resistance, you can leave your Shavasana to come up to your seat for Pranayama meditation. My hope is that your seat feels like it's ready for you and that the inner body also feels ready from the physical practice that we just had. So our sequence is going to include both inhale and exhale suspension. So a reminder that I talk about 2 layers of exhale suspension. The first is learning how to exhale completely and then to relax the exhale muscles without pulling in a mock inhalation, without pulling in the Uddiyana Bandha. I want you to get first a sense of that sort of passive suction. I'm calling it a passive suction because you're not inhaling, you have exhaled completely. Then the active suction I'm calling Uddiyana Bandha, and that's where you make the pretend inhalation. Let's begin by placing the tip of the tongue now behind the top 2 teeth and come into your Ujjayi breath. Begin by making the inhale and the exhale equal, sama pranayama. And try to sense during the inhale this kind of wave-like action of the breath that does include a lift of the heart and a lift at the base of the skull. So we're not doing inhale suspension right now, but I want you to sense how that undulation of the breath encourages the postural requirements of the suspension. And try to sense during the exhale how you maintain the lift of the heart and a gentle sense of the throat bandha. So the exhale is from your internal musculoskeletal system. It's not from pushing the torso down against the abdomen. Now, whatever your breath pace is, so if you're inhaling and exhaling for 10, start to include an inhale pause and an exhale pause for half the length. So your pace would be 10, 5, 10, 5. As you practice, let's say 10-5, 10-5, you are using the bandhas at the top of the inhale suspension. At the bottom of the exhale, that suspension is just the passive suction. And you have to release those bandhas before you inhale. Make the next exhale the last one for this sequence. Relax and allow your body to simply breathe you now. Now the same practice, but using Nadi Shodhana. Bring your right hand up, please. So you can start with Sama Pranayama and then add the suspensions. And I'm recommending the length and then half, the length and half. So it might be 10-5, 10-5, for example. Start by balancing your inhale with your exhale. When that is established, then add the suspensions with the bandhas. The exhale suspension will be only the passive suction. Make your next exhale through the left nostril, the last one. Now, for those who would like, we will do exhale suspension with the active version. So you'll be inhaling, brief pause. We'll exhale, expel the breath, and then holding the breath out. You have that initial passive suction very briefly, and then you make the pretend inhalation, and the belly is whisked inward and upward. You'll hold that suspension only so long as you're not breathless, and then you tone the outer body, pressing the chest down against the abdomen before you inhale. You can try it 3 times, and that'll be our entrance into meditation. You also can just go directly to meditation. In your own timing, when you've done it maybe up to 3 times, then you can rest in meditation, please. Remind yourself that these are cleansing practices, and winter solstice is a time of reflecting on what are the internal repairs that we want to make into our external relationships. It's a time for reflecting on that with relationship to life, to nature, to other humans, also to ourselves. Stay with your internal quiet. Stay inside your reflection. Reflecting is not a synonym for perseverating or ruminating. In reflecting, we're simply allowing for revelation to come. Join your hands together at your heart. And chant Om Shanti together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I will come up to see you and find out how you experienced your practice. Those of you who are feeling very still in your meditation can, of course, stay in meditation. My foot fell asleep, so I have to get up thoughtfully. My foot hardly ever falls asleep in meditation, so it's a special day. You're welcome to stay in your meditation again if that's where you are right now. Mm-hmm.